the abuse of power of the Biden Department of Justice to what has happened in the last 18 years.
Senator Ted Cruz, and today I'm exposing what I believe is one of the greatest abuses of the Department of Justice in American history. For years, Democrats accused others of weaponizing the DOJ, yet under the Biden administration, the department investigated political opponents while violent criminals, gang members, and drug traffickers flooded into the country. Today, I'm laying out the facts and asking one simple question. Should the Department of Justice serve the law or serve politics?
Democrats complaining about weaponization and politicization of the Department of Justice after 4 years in which they were complicit in the greatest abuse. Attorney General Merrick Garland, Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco, FBI Director Chris Wray, all personally approved the opening of this investigation. Is that right?
That's correct.
The Department of Justice was not doing its job, which is enforcing the law and putting criminals in jail. Something we never hear from the Democrat side of the aisle. I've not heard one Democrat so much as utter her name. The little girl tragically raped and murdered. The abortion pill has taken more than 3.7 million unborn lives. Caused 24 maternal deaths. Moms are being killed.
Enforce the laws, both civilly and criminally, and always do the right thing with integrity, which is exactly what I'm doing. So I am the same Todd Blanche I was when I was a federal prosecutor in the SDNY.
Before I call on the last senator to ask questions, I'd like to enter into record a letter supporting the nominee from Peter Furcelli, retired law enforcement officer, as the NYPD homicide detective and ATF special agent. Mr. Furcelli worked alongside Mr. Blanche when he was a prosecutor in the Southern District of New York. The letter states, quote, "I know Todd Blanche to be a quiet, thoughtful, soft-spoken man, but make no mistake, beneath that measured demeanor is a tenacious, fair, and deeply ethical federal prosecutor. He is the kind of lawyer who does not seek the spotlight, yet he consistently delivers results grounded in the law and justice." End of quote. Without objection, it's entered in the record. Senator Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Blanche, thank you for the job you are doing. It is rich seeing Senate Democrats complaining about weaponization and politicization of the Department of Justice after 4 years in which they were complicit in the greatest abuse we have ever seen of the Department of Justice. I want to do something that was strikingly absent in much of the questioning from our Democrat colleagues, which is actually focus on facts instead of made-up stories. And I want to compare where the department was under Joe Biden to where it is now under your leadership. During the Biden administration, the Justice Department devoted extraordinary resources to investigating and prosecuting President Trump and his supporters. Is that correct, Mr. Blanche?
It is.
The department authorized Operation Arctic Frost, which investigated members of Congress and other political figures. Is that correct?
Yes, Senator.
The department's senior leadership, Attorney General Merrick Garland, Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco, FBI Director Chris Wray, all personally approved the opening of this investigation. Is that right?
That's correct.
This investigation involved nearly 200 subpoenas, targeted over 400 Republican-aligned groups and individuals. Is that right?
Yes, Senator.
And then the FBI obtained, without our knowledge, the cell phone data of 20% of the Republicans in the Senate, including me and many of my colleagues on this committee, as well as now FBI Director Kash Patel and now White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles. Is that correct?
Yes, Senator.
Just yesterday, Chairman Grassley revealed that even more senators' communications were targeted. Jack Smith's team obtained and reviewed the text messages of 44 members of Congress, including 19 Republican senators. when the Department of Justice loses sight of criminals because it is turned into a partisan arm of the DNC, the American people pay the price. It also meant the Department of Justice was not doing its job, which is enforcing the law and putting criminals in jail. During the Biden administration, there were roughly 12 million encounters at the southern border. Is that correct?
Yes.
Approximately 2 million illegal aliens were known to have entered but were not apprehended, the so-called gotaways. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Fentanyl became the leading cause of death for Americans between the ages of 18 and 45. Is that right?
That's correct.
That was courtesy of the Democrats' open border policies of letting drug dealers and human traffickers flood into this country because they believed it would benefit them politically. Violent transnational criminal organizations, including the Sinaloa Cartel, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, MS-13, and Tren de Aragua, expanded their operations inside the United States. Is that right?
It is absolutely correct.
And then something we never hear from the Democrat side of the aisle: the victims. Jocelyn Nungary, I've not heard one Democrat so much as utter her name. The little girl tragically raped and murdered by 2 Venezuelan gang members the Biden administration released. Laken Riley, again, the Democrats cannot even say her name. Rachel Morin, a mom, brutally raped and murdered by another illegal the Biden Justice Department released. These were daughters, these were students, these were mothers, and they would be alive if the Department of Justice had done its duty. So let's compare the lawlessness, the partisanship, the abuse of power of the Biden Department of Justice to what has happened in the last 18 months. Mr. Blanche, objectively, the American people are safer today than they were 18 months ago. Is that correct?
There is no doubt.
Now, that's not simply empty rhetoric. Since President Trump took office, federal law enforcement has arrested approximately 29,000 violent gang members. Is that right?
That's correct.
The department has disrupted or dismantled approximately 2,700 gangs, a 365% increase over the comparable period of time in the previous administration. Is that right?
That's correct.
Arrests of Tren de Aragua members have increased by approximately 519%. Is that right?
That's correct.
In 2025, the United States saw the largest one-year drop in violent crime and murder since 1937. Homicides across America's largest cities fell more than 19%. Is that right?
That's correct.
Robberies fell nearly 20%. Aggravated assaults fell nearly 10%. And that trend has continued into this year with homicides falling by yet another 17.7% and robberies by over 20% during the first quarter of 2026. Is that right?
It is, yes.
The department has also made protecting America's children one of its highest priorities. Since the beginning of this administration, the FBI has located approximately 7,200 child victims, a 42% increase. Is that right?
Yes.
The FBI has arrested approximately 3,500 child predators and human traffickers, a 102% increase. Is that right?
That's correct.
In April alone, Operation Iron Pursuit located more than 200 child victims and arrested more than 350 alleged child sex abuse offenders. Is that right?
That's right.
And across my home state of Texas, Operation Soteria Shield rescued 89 children and resulted in 276 child exploitation arrests. Is that right?
That's the correct stat.
Mr. Blanche, after less than 18 months, would it be fair to say that the department is once again focused on protecting the American people and faithfully enacting the laws?
That's exactly what we're focused on, Senator.
And I will point out that one direct result of that also is deaths by drug overdoses have dropped 20%. There are literally thousands of Americans who are alive today because of the job you and your colleagues at the Department of Justice are doing. And I, for one, want to say thank you for focusing the department on saving people's lives and putting criminals in jail.
We have great prosecutors, Senator, and great agents.
Now, I want to go to a topic that Senator Hawley asked you about, which is the Biden administration rule concerning the abortion pill. (18 U.S.C. Section 1461, Comstock Act, provides that every article or thing designed or adapted or intended for producing abortion is declared to be non-mailable. I have to admit that statutory text to me looks quite straightforward. It is not subtle, it is not difficult, it is straightforward. As you know, during the Biden administration, the Office of Legal Counsel issued an opinion concluding that those provisions generally do not prohibit mailing abortion drugs unless the sender intends them to be used unlawfully. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Now, Office of Legal Counsel opinions may be reconsidered when the Attorney General concludes they are inconsistent with the law. Is that right?
That is right.
Will you commit to carefully reviewing that opinion to ensure that it faithfully reflects the actual statutory text that Congress enacted?
Yes.
Likewise, as Senator Hawley asked, Louisiana versus FDA remains pending before the Fifth Circuit. Without asking you to comment on the merits of that litigation, will you commit that the department will carefully evaluate every lawful action available to ensure the faithful enforcement of the Comstock Act and other federal pro-life acts?
Yes.
And I want to point out the real consequences of the Biden administration's lawless authorization of mail-order abortions. According to FDA reporting, the abortion pill has taken more than 3.7 million unborn lives, caused 24 maternal deaths. Moms are being killed, and resulted in at least 4,195 adverse maternal reactions, including hemorrhage, excruciating abdominal pain, and severe life-threatening infections. The position of the Democrats now seem to be that women and teenage girls should be able to get mail-order abortions without a doctor being involved at all. And I will tell you, the death toll from that is horrific, and it needs to stop. Final question. Will you commit as Attorney General to faithfully and vigorously defending the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Mr. Blanche, thank you for your testimony today. And to your family and friends who are here, I thank you all as well.
Cruz's questioning wasn't built around dramatic sound bites alone. It centered on a broader argument about what the Department of Justice should prioritize. Rather than focusing on political investigations, Cruz argued that federal law enforcement should devote its attention to violent crime, border security, gang activity, child exploitation, and enforcing existing federal laws. Throughout the hearing, Todd Blanche repeatedly confirmed many of the statistics Cruz presented, reinforcing the senator's argument that the department's priorities have shifted. For Republican supporters, that's exactly what they wanted to hear. A Justice Department they believe is returning to its core mission of protecting Americans and enforcing the law equally. Whether it's tackling violent gangs, rescuing exploited children, or defending constitutional rights, Cruz's message was clear. The DOJ should focus on public safety before politics. The debate over these issues is far from over, but this hearing showed why control of the Department of Justice remains one of the biggest political battles in Washington. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like this video, subscribe to America Brief, and turn on notifications so you never miss the biggest hearings, breaking political moments, and the stories shaping America. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video on America Brief.